In this video, I'll show you how to integrate Google Forms with Certifier so that every form submission automatically transforms into a personalized certificate. Hi there, my name is Uliana and I'm a product manager here at Certifier. If you're collecting registrations, surveys, quizzes, feedback, or even test exams and completion data through Google Forms, this native integration will save you hours of manual work. Instead of manually issuing certificates one by one, Certifier can generate and deliver them automatically based on each new form submission. Before we dive in, this video is broken down into multiple chapters that you can see right now on the screen. So if you want to jump to a specific section, just click on any chapter in the timeline below. And now, let's set up this Google Forms integration. To turn Google Form responses into certificates, we'll be using Certifier automations. They allow you to use a connected spreadsheet as a bridge between your Google Form and Certifier. We actually call those Sheets-powered automations, and here is how they work. Every new response lands in the sheet as a new row, and Certifier then uses this data to automatically issue a certificate. First, let's get the form ready in Google Forms. You can use an existing form or create a new one. The key here is to have two required fields: recipient name and recipient email. To collect the recipient names, add the short answer question type with the recipient name title. For emails, go to the settings, open the responses section, and enable the responder input in collect emails. By the way, we recommend starting with an empty form, meaning you should share the form with actual recipients only after activating the automation. If your form already has the responses and you would like to generate certificates for them, the best approach is to save those responses to a spreadsheet and then upload it to Certifier for bulk certificate generation. By the way, we have a separate video on how to generate certificates in bulk from a spreadsheet linked in the description below. Let's now connect our Google Form to Google Sheets. For that, open your Google Form and navigate to the Responses tab. Once there, press the Link to Sheets button. Then, select the option Create a new spreadsheet and press Create. The spreadsheet opens in a new tab. Each question you've added to the form will appear as its own column in the sheet, and there will also be a timestamp column that shows when each response was submitted. And the best part is that all the data that you can see in this sheet can later on be used to personalize your certificate. Before moving forward, double-check that your spreadsheet contains the fields you need. Now that our Google Form is connected to a spreadsheet, let's move on to creating the automation in Certifier. To start, head over to the Automations tab in your Certifier dashboard and click Create Automation. From there, you'll see the Templates gallery. It includes not only Google Forms templates, but also templates for apps like Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. And by the way, we've prepared dedicated videos on those as well, and you will find the links in the description below. Now, select the template titled Issue a credential via Certifier when a new form response is received in Google Forms, press Use Template, and click on the Connect via Google Sheets. After that, you'll be redirected straight to the automation canvas. The canvas shows two blocks: a trigger, a new row is added in Google Sheets, and an action, Certifier issuing a credential. Remember, even though you're using Google Forms, your responses flow into a sheet, so the trigger comes from Google Sheets. Let's start by setting up the trigger first. For that, click on the trigger to open the configuration. As you can see, the setup with an app and event is pre-configured, and all you have to do is press Continue and move to Configuration. It starts by connecting your Google account. Press Connect Google Sheets, then select the Google account that you would like to pull the data from, press Continue, and set the checkbox to allow Certifier to access your data. After that, your account will appear as selected. If you would like to use a different account, just unfold the options and select or connect another one. Next, click on the field below the spreadsheet ID and select the spreadsheet that we created earlier when linking your Google Form to Google Sheets. Then choose the Form Responses sheet as your worksheet ID. Leave the optional fields as they are and press Submit. That's it, your trigger is configured, and let's now configure the action. For that, click on the action block to open the configuration. Just like with trigger, the setup with an app and event is pre-configured, so all you have to do is press Continue and move to the configuration. Your first step here is to select the group you want to use for credential issuance. Click on the group field to expand it, and then choose the group's name from the list. Now, let's map the recipient name. To do so, click on the recipient name input and either press the plus button or type in double curly brackets to map this field to the column of your spreadsheet that stores your recipient names. In our case, that's column C. By the way, if your recipient names are split into multiple columns as names and surnames, Feel free to add these columns one by one, separated by a space. Now, click on the recipient email input, and following the exact same instructions, let's map this field to the column B of our spreadsheet. Next, let's configure the issuance. Set issue credential to true if you want certificates to be issued straight away, or false if you'd rather create them as drafts. I'll go with true. For send credential, leave it on true to email certificates automatically, or switch to false if you prefer to send them out later. Keep both fields to true if you want a certificate to be automatically issued and sent to your recipients via email. If your form collects additional data and you would like to use that to personalize certificates, for example, locations, CPD credits, or instructors' names, you can do so with custom attributes. First, create the custom attributes in your Certifier account. Once created, those attributes will appear here in the form as inputs, and all you'll have to do is to map them to the columns in your spreadsheet, just like we did with recipient names and emails. Here is an important note. The order of your form questions directly determines the order of the columns in the connected spreadsheet. Once the automation is live, Certifier tracks the column positions, like column A or column B, not the header names. That means that if you change the order of the questions in your form, the columns will also shift and the automation will break. So before activating, double-check that your question order is final and that it includes all of the fields you want to use, like name, email, or any custom attributes. After activation, you shouldn't reorder the questions or add new ones in between. To finish configuring the action, press Submit. Let's now activate the automation. Click Save and Activate, give your automation a clear name, and press Next. You'll see a confirmation warning saying that if there are any rows in your spreadsheet, Certifier might use them for credential issuance upon activation. And just a reminder, automations work best if you start with an empty Google form, or to be more precise, with an empty spreadsheet. Let's check the box and click Confirm and Activate to proceed. And that's it! Your automation is live and ready to process new form responses and issue certificates. So let me now show you how it works in practice. Let's submit a test response in Google Forms and check our connected sheet. As you can see, a new row has automatically appeared in the connected spreadsheet. Let's now wait a minute or two and check the Certifier's app. Here's the certificate Certifier issued and sent via email using the spreadsheet data. Back in the Automations view, you'll see the total number of times this automation has run. If I click Show Runs, a window opens with a full list of executions. From here, you can sort them by date or filter them by status. In this case, you can see that one of the runs ended up with an error. Let's expand it to check the details. The log shows that the error happened during the action step. Looking closer, the message points to an invalid input for the recipient email. And the reason for that is simple. Certifier reads every row in the connected spreadsheet, including the header row with labels like timestamp, recipient name, and recipient email. But in the email column, Certifier is expecting a proper email address, one that contains an @ and an email domain. Since the header isn't an email, Certifier cannot process it and marks it as an error. This type of error is completely harmless and it doesn't affect your automation. You can just safely ignore it. Once your automation is live, remember, don't add or remove questions from your Google Forms, and also don't reorder the spreadsheet columns. In addition to this, do not rename your Google Sheets file and connected sheet names, as well as don't reorder the sheet tabs. Also, do not insert columns between the mapped ones and do not edit the process rows. To correct your data, update credentials in the Certifier's dashboard. Remember to always include the name and email, and allow a few minutes for processing. So there you have it! Your Google form is now connected to Certifier via Google Sheets. Now every form submission automatically triggers a certificate. No manual work, no copying data, just pure automation. Everything we covered is documented step by step in our knowledge base. I've put the link to a dedicated article in the description below for your convenience. If you run into some issues, you can connect directly with our support team via chat in the Certifier's app, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. For those of you managing multiple workflows or complex setups, I'd suggest booking a call with our integration team. They can walk you through advanced configurations and best practices. Thank you for being with me today, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye!